Right now, scattered across rural Japan, towns are offering combined bounties worth over $1 million for the capture of a single animal. Not a tiger, not a bear, a snake. A fat, stubby, beer bottle-shaped snake that supposedly can leap 3 feet into the air, perform a second jump while still airborne, roll downhill like a tire, speak human words, and lie to your face. Oh, and it drinks sake. This is the tsuchinoko, and for over 1,300 years, people across Japan have sworn it's real. Entire villages have built their identities around hunting it. Museums have been erected in its honor, and to this day, not a single verified specimen has ever been produced. So what exactly is this thing? The word tsuchinoko translates roughly to child of the hammer, a name that comes from the creature's body shape, which resembles an old Japanese mallet called a yakatsuchi. Picture a snake, but instead of a long, slender body, imagine one that balloons out dramatically in the middle. Like someone inflated its torso with a bicycle pump. The head is small and triangular, like a viper's, and the tail tapers to a stubby point. The whole package runs somewhere between 12 and 31 inches long, covered in earth-toned scales with, according to many accounts, a bright orange belly. But it's the creature's supposed behavior that pushes the tsuchinoko from odd to outright surreal. Forget slithering. Eyewitnesses say this thing moves like an inchworm, scrunching and stretching its body forward in pulses. When it wants speed, it reportedly rolls sideways like a log, or bites its own tail and spins like a living wheel, careening downhill after prey. An old Japanese saying warns, going downhill when a tsuchinoko chases you is certain doom. Its jumping ability is legendary. Most accounts describe leaps of about 3 feet, but some regional descriptions from Akiwa City claim distances up to 5 meters. The tsuchinoko is said to emit a high-pitched chi sound when it attacks, snore while sleeping, and possess a fondness for alcohol so well known that sake has been used as bait in traps. Some legends even claim it can speak, though they come with a warning. The tsuchinoko is a notorious liar. The roots of this legend stretch deep into Japanese history. Clay artifacts from the Jomon period, the era of Japanese prehistory spanning roughly 14,000 to 300 years before the Common Era, have been found in Gifu and Nagano prefectures, bearing motifs that resemble short, stumpy serpents. The tsuchinoko appears under the name Nazuchi in the Kojiki, Japan's oldest surviving chronicle, compiled in the year 712. That text describes the Nazuchi as a field deity connected to the mountains and the earth. By the Edo period, the creature was being cataloged as though it were a real animal. The illustrated encyclopedia Wakken Sansai Zui, published in 1712, offered a detailed description of its hammer-like shape and its habit of rolling downhill. For centuries, these references simmered in regional folklore, known by more than 50 local names across different parts of the country, from Bakihebai in the northeast to Koro in Fukui Prefecture, a name inspired by the sound of rolling. Then the 1970s happened, and the tsuchinoko went from regional curiosity to full-blown national obsession. In 1972, the acclaimed author Seiko Tane published a serialized novel in the Asahi newspaper called Subit Koranda, featuring a protagonist consumed by tsuchinoko hunting. A year later, it was adapted into a drama on NHK, Japan's national broadcaster. That same year, manga artist Takao Yaguchi released Phantom Monster Bakihebai, a comic centered on the creature. And in 1974, the beloved children's character Doraemon got an episode about finding one. 3 consecutive years of media saturation ignited what the Japanese press called the tsuchinoko boom. Sightings exploded, blurry photographs surfaced. Talk shows dedicated entire segments to the mystery. People grabbed nets and headed into the mountains. The fever didn't cool. In 1988, a village council member named Kazuo Nozaki launched a formal tsuchinoko expedition in Shimokitayama, Nara Prefecture, offering 1 million yen for a live capture. Around 200 people from across the country joined. It lasted 2 years and turned up nothing, but it cemented the tsuchinoko as a community event. The tiny village of Higashishirakawa in Gifu Prefecture, population roughly 2,500, took things even further, claiming more tsuchinoko sightings than anywhere else in Japan. The village built Japan's only tsuchinoko museum, launched an annual Tsuchinoko Festa in 1989, and established a bounty that increases by 10,000 yen every year it goes unclaimed. Other towns joined. Yashii in Okayama Prefecture offered 20 million yen. The city of Itogawa in Niigata pushed its bounty to 100 million yen, roughly $650,000, and the eyewitness accounts, while unverified, are vivid. In 1994, a 73-year-old man named Kazuaki Noda and his wife encountered what they described as a massive snake with a body like a beer bottle and a head shaped like a tortoise's. In the year 2000, an 80-year-old woman named Mitsuko Arima spotted one swimming in a river. She recalled pointing at it and asking, "Who are you?" over and over. It didn't answer, she said, but it stared right back with big, round eyes floating just above the waterline. So what's really going on? Science has a few solid theories. The most straightforward explanation is that people are seeing ordinary snakes that have recently swallowed large prey. The kind of meal that causes a dramatic bulge in the midsection, creating a temporary beer bottle silhouette. Another strong candidate is the blue-tongued skink, an Australian lizard that became a popular exotic pet in Japan starting in the 1970s, right when sightings skyrocketed. Its stocky body, small legs easy to miss in underbrush, and overall proportions bear a striking resemblance to tsuchinoko descriptions. Several supposed tsuchinoko carcasses have been tested and identified as exactly that, escaped pet skinks. But skeptics have a harder time explaining the centuries of accounts that predate the exotic pet trade entirely. That tension is what keeps the tsuchinoko alive. It occupies a rare space in Japanese culture, somewhere between sacred mythology and neighborhood wildlife, between the spiritual creatures of ancient texts and something that just might be hiding in the tall grass along a mountain stream. It's inspired by Pokemon characters, Metal Gear Solid Easter eggs, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and dozens of anime episodes. Every May, families still pour into Higashishirakawa during Golden Week, doubling the village population overnight, pouring sake on the ground to lure something out of the bushes that may not exist. And every year, the bounty ticks up by another 10,000 yen. The tsuchinoko remains uncaught, uncategorized, and utterly unforgotten, a plump little phantom that has outlasted empires.